Let's jump right in. Today, we're diving into one of the absolute most powerful, honestly, almost magical forces in the entire financial universe. We're breaking down the exact mechanics of how money actually makes money over time. If you've ever sat there and wondered how real, lasting wealth is built from the ground up, especially if you don't have a massive salary right now, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to unpack the exact mathematical engine that the world's most successful investors use to just massively accelerate their portfolios. So, let me hit you with a quick question to start us off. Think about this carefully. Would you rather invest twice as much money later in life or half as much money right now? Instinctively, a lot of us think, waiting until we're older, making a higher salary, and dropping a massive amount of cash into the market makes the most sense, right? But the mathematical answer to this question is actually going to shock you. And really, it forms the entire foundation of the analysis we're unpacking today. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp why early investing is so incredibly crucial, we have to define the engine driving the whole thing: compound interest. Now, in the simplest terms possible, compound interest is when you earn interest on both your original money, that's your principal balance, and on any interest you've already accumulated in the past. It's literally earning interest on your interest. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a massive hill. It starts small, but it gathers more and more snow, getting bigger and rolling faster and faster the longer you just leave it alone. The stark contrast between simple interest and compound interest is really where you see this magic happen. Simple interest is totally linear. It's calculated only on your initial principal. So if you put in 100 grand at 5% simple interest for 10 years, you just earn a flat $5,000 every single year. Pretty straightforward, but slow. Now contrast that with compound interest, which calculates your growth on the principal plus all that accumulated interest. With a monthly compound interest rate of 5% on that same deposit, your returns absolutely accelerate. You're no longer earning a flat rate. Your wealth creation curve literally bends upwards, multiplying your money at a drastically accelerated rate. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually visualize this exponential growth without, busting out a complex spreadsheet? Well, enter the magic number, 72. The rule of 72 is this brilliant, almost foolproof mental math trick used by financial experts to estimate compounding speed. By using this one simple number, you can instantly figure out exactly how long it's going to take for your money to completely double in value just based on your expected rate of return. And this brilliantly illustrates how it works in practice. You simply take the number 72 and divide it by your annual interest rate. Let's say you've got $100 earning a 4% return. 72 divided by 4 equals 18. So that means it takes exactly 18 years for your initial $100 to grow into $200. And you didn't even have to add a single extra penny. Or let's say your return was 8%. Your money would double in just 9 years. It's a fantastic, quick way to map out your long-term wealth building strategy on the fly. But here is a critical detail you absolutely have to keep in mind. The frequency of the compounding matters heavily. Different financial instruments actually compound at totally different intervals. For instance, savings accounts and credit cards often compound daily, while certificates of deposit might be monthly and Series I bonds are semi-annually. The golden rule here is that the higher the number of compounding periods, the greater the amount of compound interest generated, which is incredibly great news for your savings accounts. But, as we're going to see shortly, it can be a total nightmare if you're carrying consumer debt. Section 1. The power of early investing and the illusion of catching up. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We're going to look at a real-life scenario from our source material that perfectly captures why time is your absolute greatest financial asset. We're tracking the financial journeys of two twins who take completely different paths to retirement. This is honestly going to change how you look at your investing timeline. Let's introduce Twin 1. Their strategy is all about getting out of the starting gate super early. They start investing at age 20, putting away just $100 a month. That is such a small, manageable amount, basically the cost of a few streaming services and some premium coffees. They earn a conservative 4% annual interest, compounded monthly, and they keep this habit up for 40 years until they hit age 65. No flashy day trading, no huge risks. They just let time do the heavy lifting. And here is the payoff. By age 65, Twin 1 has accumulated $151,550. But what's genuinely mind-blowing here is how much of that is pure profit generated by compounding. Over those 40 years of $100 deposits, Twin 1's actual out-of-pocket principal investment was only $54,100. The entire rest of that balance, nearly $100,000, was generated completely by the power of compound interest. It's just incredible. Let's move to our second scenario and see how this builds.
Twin 2 decides to hold off on investing because, well, they feel like they have plenty of time. They don't start until age 50. Recognizing they're way behind, they try to aggressively play catch-up. They drop a $5,000 initial investment right off the bat, and then start putting away $500 a month. Think about that. They're investing 5 times as much monthly as Twin 1. They get the exact same 4% return, compounded monthly, and they grind it out for 15 years until they also hit 65.
Well, here is the shocking result. Despite aggressively saving $500 a month, Twin 2 finishes with only $132,147. They end up with significantly less money than Twin 1. Think about how frustrating that is. They were sacrificing way more of their immediate paycheck, putting away 5 times the monthly amount, but they simply could not catch up to the math. So the crucial point here when we put these journeys side by side is undeniable. Twin 2 actually invested $95,000 out of their own pocket, nearly double the principal that Twin 1 invested, and they still lost the race. Why? Because they lacked time. Twin 1 harnessed 40 full years of compounding while Twin 2 only had 15. This right here perfectly illustrates that in the wealth building game, time is vastly more important than the amount of money you initially start with. You just can't buy back lost time.
Section 2. The double-edged sword. Pros and cons.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand that compound interest isn't inherently good or bad. It's just an impartial mathematical reality. It's a force of nature that can either work tirelessly for you to build generational wealth, or it can aggressively work against you. Let's look at the dark side first. Compounding is the exact mechanism that traps consumers who are making minimum payments on high-interest loans. Remember when we talked about frequency? Credit card debt often compounds daily. If you only pay the minimum balance, that interest keeps building on top of newly added interest every single day. Your balance grows exponentially, and that is exactly how people get sucked into a vicious, super stressful debt cycle. Also, just a heads up, the earnings you make from compound interest on regular investments are generally taxable, unless you're using tax-sheltered retirement accounts. But on the bright side, when utilized correctly, compounding is your absolute best tool for building long-term wealth and fighting off that silent wealth killer, inflation. By leveraging high-yield savings accounts or dividend reinvestment plans, which you'll often hear called DRIPs, you're letting your returns automatically earn their own returns. That keeps your purchasing power ahead of the rising cost of living. And here's a great tip, you can actually use compounding to your advantage on the debt side too. By overpaying your loans, even just a little bit extra each month, you drastically reduce the principal balance that the interest is calculated on. That alone can save you massive amounts of money over the life of a loan. So what does this all mean for you, and how do we put it into practice? Based on our source material, here are 3 highly actionable steps you can literally start taking today. Step 1, map your goals. Get online and use free compound interest calculators, like the fantastic one at investor.gov, to visualize how your money will grow based on your personal budget. Step 2, start saving as early as possible. Like we saw with the twins, the absolute best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Step 3, be consistent. Whether it's $50 or $500, make those deposits regularly. Consistency is the actual fuel for the compounding engine. We're going to wrap up with this incredibly powerful concluding thought. Time is an investor's greatest asset. Start today. The math definitively proves that you do not need to be rich to build incredible wealth. You just need to be patient, be consistent, and let time work its magic on your money. So the only real question left to ask yourself is, what are you going to do with the time you have right now? Will you let it slip by, or will you put it to work? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you on the next one.